Captain James Reyes watched the swirling gray clouds of the Ashen galaxy from the bridge of the exploration vessel Pathfinder. His crew of 43 humans had traveled farther than any species had dared to go in 10,000 years. The galaxy before them was a graveyard of dead stars and forgotten worlds, and every other civilization in the known universe had warned them to stay away. "Sir, the Kovani ambassador is hailing us again," said Lieutenant Park from the communications station. James sighed. This was the 5th message in 3 days. "Put him through." The holographic image of Ambassador Trell appeared on the bridge. His blue skin was pale with worry, and his 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "Captain Reyes, I beg you one final time. Turn your ship around. The Ashen galaxy is forbidden for a reason. Our ancestors sealed it away after the Great Silence. Whatever is in there destroyed 12 civilizations in a single night." "We appreciate your concern, Ambassador," James said calmly. "But humanity has heard stories of forbidden places before. We've explored every one of them. We're still here." "Your species is young and foolish," Trell said. "You have been part of the galactic community for only 300 years. You do not understand what sleeps in the darkness between those dead stars." James smiled. "Then we'll wake it up and ask it some questions." Pathfinder out. The hologram faded. His crew exchanged nervous glances, but no one suggested turning back. They were human, and humans did not turn back from the unknown. The Pathfinder crossed the boundary into the Ashen galaxy 2 hours later. The stars here were dim and red, like dying embers in a cold fireplace. Dust clouds blocked most of the light, creating shadows that seemed to move when no one was looking directly at them. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the ship's chief scientist, ran continuous scans from her station. "Captain, I'm detecting artificial structures on 17 different planets within sensor range. Some of them are enormous. We're talking about cities larger than anything we've ever built. Signs of life?" James asked. "None. Everything has been dead for at least 10,000 years, but the structures are remarkably well preserved. Whatever happened here, it happened fast." The crew spent the next 3 weeks exploring the outer systems of the Ashen galaxy. They found empty cities made of crystal that sang in strange harmonies when the wind blew through them. They discovered massive ships, larger than moons, drifting silent and cold in the void. They walked through temples dedicated to gods that had been forgotten before humanity had learned to make fire. On each world, they found the same thing. The inhabitants had simply vanished. There were no bodies, no signs of battle, no evidence of disease. One day the civilizations had been thriving, and the next day they were gone. Only their buildings and their machines remained, waiting for owners who would never return. Private Marcus Webb was the first human to find actual remains. He was exploring a research facility on a frozen moon when he stumbled into a sealed chamber. Inside, he found the perfectly preserved bodies of 3 alien scientists. They were hunched over a machine that pulsed with a faint golden light. "Captain, you need to see this," Marcus said over the radio. James arrived with a team within the hour. Dr. Vasquez examined the bodies while the engineers studied the machine. The aliens were humanoid, but with elongated skulls and 6 fingers on each hand. Their faces were frozen in expressions of hope, not fear. They weren't running from something, Dr. Vasquez said quietly. They were trying to accomplish something. Look at their hands. They're reaching toward the machine, not away from it. "What is the machine?" James asked. One of the engineers, a young woman named Sarah Kim, stepped back from her analysis. "Sir, I think it's a beacon. But it's not sending a signal outward. It's sending a signal somewhere else entirely. Somewhere outside of normal space. Can we activate it?" "We shouldn't," Dr. Vasquez said quickly. "We don't know what happened to these people." James studied the frozen faces of the dead scientists. They weren't afraid. They were hopeful. Whatever they were trying to do, they believed it was the right thing. "I want to know what that was," The decision to activate the beacon was not made lightly. The crew debated for 2 days. Some argued that the alien warnings should be respected. Others pointed out that humanity had gotten where it was by ignoring warnings and taking risks. In the end, James called for a vote. 31 crew members voted to activate the beacon. 12 voted against. Sarah Kim worked through the night to understand the alien technology. By morning, she had figured out the basic operating principles. The beacon was designed to send the message into what she called fold space, a dimension that existed alongside normal space, but was normally inaccessible. Whatever the ancient aliens had been trying to contact, it lived there. "Ready when you are, Captain," Sarah said. James nodded. "Do it." Sarah pressed a sequence of controls, and the golden light in the machine grew brighter. The entire facility began to hum with power that had been dormant for millennia. The light expanded, filling the chamber, and then suddenly contracted into a single brilliant point. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the point of light expanded again, and something stepped through. It was tall and thin, with skin that seemed to be made of living shadow. Its eyes were stars, burning with ancient light. It looked at the humans with an expression that might have been curiosity, or might have been something else entirely. "You are not the architects," it said. Its voice was like the wind through empty halls. "The architects are gone. They sent themselves into the fold to escape the silence. Who are you?" James stepped forward. His heart was pounding, but he kept his voice steady. "We are humans. We came here looking for answers. What happened to the people who lived in this galaxy?" The shadow being tilted its head. "You crossed the Forbidden's boundary. You activated the beacon. You stand before a guardian of the fold and ask questions instead of running." It paused. "You are either very brave or very foolish. Probably both," James admitted. Something that might have been a smile crossed the guardian's face. "The architects said the same thing long ago. Perhaps that is why they survived when all the others did not." The guardian raised one shadowy hand, and the air around the humans began to shimmer with golden light. Information flooded into their minds. History, science, maps, warnings, and secrets that had been hidden for 10,000 years. The crew of the Pathfinder fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the weight of ancient knowledge. When the light faded, James found that he understood everything. He understood what the silence had been. He understood why the galaxy had been forbidden. And he understood what humanity would need to do next. The Guardian watched them with its star-bright eyes. The architects believed that one day, another species would be brave enough or foolish enough to seek the truth. They left me here to wait. You have found what you came for. Now you must decide what to do with it." James looked at his crew. They were shaken but alive, their minds full of knowledge that could change everything. He thought about the Corvani ambassador's warnings. He thought about all the civilizations that had feared this place and stayed away. He thought about what it meant to be human. "We go home," he said, "and we share what we've learned. Whatever comes next, we face it together." The Guardian nodded slowly. "The architects would have approved. Go, humans. The galaxy you knew is about to change. Whether that change is for better or worse depends entirely on you." The Pathfinder left the Ashen galaxy 3 days later. Behind them, the Guardian returned to the fold, its duty finally complete. The ancient beacon fell silent once more, its purpose fulfilled after 10,000 years of waiting. As they crossed the boundary back into known space, the crew began the long process of organizing the knowledge they had received. The silence had been a weapon, created by a species so ancient that even the architects had known them only as legends. That weapon still existed somewhere in the universe, waiting to be used again. But now humanity knew about it. Now humanity could prepare. Ambassador Trell was waiting for them when they emerged from the Forbidden Zone. His ship intercepted the Pathfinder within hours. When James answered his hail, the Carvani's blue face was a mixture of relief and disbelief. "You survived," Trell said. "How is that possible?" "We found what we were looking for," James replied. "And we have something to share with the galactic community. Something important." "What did you find?" James paused. "A warning and a promise. The warning is that there's a threat out there that we all need to prepare for. The promise is that we don't have to face it alone. The ones who came before us made sure of that." The news spread quickly through the known galaxies. The Forbidden Zone had been breached. Humans had walked among the dead worlds and spoken with something older than the stars. At first, other species reacted with fear and anger. The ancient laws had been broken. Surely there would be consequences. But as the humans shared what they had learned, fear slowly gave way to understanding. The silence had been a danger that everyone had chosen to ignore rather than confront. Now it could be ignored no longer. And humanity, the youngest and most reckless species in the galactic community, had given them the tools they needed to fight back. Within a year, the first United Defense Council was formed. Species that had been rivals for thousands of years sat at the same table, sharing technology and strategies. Humanity led the effort, not because they were the strongest or the smartest, but because they had been willing to go where others would not. Captain James Reyes stood before the council on the day it was officially founded. Leaders from 100 worlds watched as he spoke. "We did not go into the Ashen Galaxy looking for glory," he said. "We went because we needed to know. Because we believe that no question should be forbidden. No corner of the universe should be left unexplored. That belief cost us nothing this time. We were lucky, but it also gave us something priceless. It gave us a chance to stand together against what's coming." He looked out at the assembled leaders. The ones who lived in the Ashen Galaxy were not destroyed by the silence. They escaped. They found a way to survive, and they left that knowledge behind for anyone brave enough to look for it. They believed that the next ones would do the right thing with what they found. I believe they were right. The Council voted unanimously to accept humanity's proposal for a unified defense initiative. Ships were built. Weapons were designed. The knowledge of the architects was studied and improved. For the first time in galactic history, every intelligent species was working toward a common goal. 10 years later, when the silence returned, the galaxy was ready. The battle lasted for 17 days. Worlds burned and millions died. But this time, the silence did not claim everything. This time, there was resistance. Ships from 100 worlds fought side by side, using strategies that the architects had designed and humanity had perfected. In the end, the weapon that had destroyed a dozen civilizations was turned against itself. When it was over, the survivors gathered to remember the fallen and celebrate their victory. Captain Reyes, now Admiral Reyes, gave the final speech. "We won because we refused to accept that some things should remain unknown. We won because we believed that the truth, no matter how frightening, is always better than ignorance. And we won because when the moment came, we chose to stand together instead of standing apart." He raised his glass. "To the architects who gave us the knowledge we needed. To the Guardian who kept that knowledge safe. And to everyone who fought and died to protect what we've built. We honor you all." Across the galaxy, on 1,000 worlds, the toast was echoed. Humanity had done what no one else would do. They had walked into the darkness, found the light hidden within it, and brought it back for everyone to share. The Ashen Galaxy was no longer forbidden. New colonies were being built on the ancient worlds, and scientists were studying the technology left behind by civilizations that had been dead for millennia. The secrets of the lost worlds were being unearthed one by one, each discovery bringing new possibilities. James Reyes retired to a small house on a quiet moon. He spent his final years writing his memoirs and watching the stars through an old telescope. Sometimes visitors came, young explorers who wanted to hear his stories. He always welcomed them. "The universe is full of things we don't understand," he would tell them. "Some of those things are dangerous. Some of them are wonderful. Most of them are both. Our job isn't to hide from them. Our job is to find them, learn from them, and share what we've learned with everyone who comes after us. When he died at the age of 93, representatives from every known species attended his funeral. They came to honor the man who had changed everything by doing what humans had always done best. He had asked a question. He had refused to accept that the answer was forbidden. And he had proven that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply refuse to be afraid. The inscription on his memorial read, "He crossed the forbidden's boundary and brought back hope." It was, his crew agreed, exactly what he would have wanted.